Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I have a new layout and video for Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2020 January kits again. And I wanted to focus on some of the Pink Paisley Lucky Us products. I want to use some of these really cute, chunky, puffy stickers. And then I wanted to use this really cute pink paper with all the sayings on it and mix and match with some of the other pattern papers. And I was really inspired by some of the sayings on this paper, and I thought that I would create my own title using Love You the Most, because that just stood out to me. And since, it's Valentine's month, I thought that I would do that. And this is actually a sample layout if you do not have a Cricut or a Silhouette Cameo or a die cutting machine. This is something that you could try because it gives you the effect of die cuts, but you just kind of draw it yourself. And so let me show you how I'm going to do this. I want the title to be Love You the Most. So I wanted the word you to be the biggest. So all I'm doing here is freehanding the word you. I'm just using a pencil here, and I just kind of wrote it in my own handwriting in scripty font there, if you could call it a font. And then I'm going around the edges and making it a little bit thicker. And then I'm just going to cut this out, and it's going to be the biggest design element on my layout. And then, I can erase the pencil lines. But, you could easily do this if you have a die cutting machine. But I know a lot of people don't. And so this is an option that you could do. And, I think that looks cute. It's my own handwriting, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. I'm going to do the same idea with the other words in the title. And I'm going to use some of these Pink Fresh Studio papers. My first thought was a color scheme of all the different shades of blue mixed in with a little bit of pink. And that's kind of where I go, but I do wind up incorporating some more colors as I go. So I thought that I would create Love the Most in little block letters. And again, I just used my pencil, hand drew those, and then erased the pencil lines. And yeah, so I think a big title is a fun design element. It kind of, it takes up a lot of space on the page. And so it kind of limits the areas where you can put your photo, which I think is helpful, especially if you struggle to come up with a design idea. Like you're looking at all these blank papers and you think, I don't even know where to start. This is a good thing to do. Make a big title because it takes up a lot of space. And if you do something like this, you also are able to use lots of colors and patterns. All right, so I edited this part out where you saw me doing the rest of it, but I wound up adding some orange in the mix. There was one of the 3x4 Pocket Life cards that's this really bright orange color. And then I found this picture. I swear I did not plan this. I was going through the pictures of me and my husband, and I found this picture, and it has the perfect colors in it. We were in the Bahamas in this little restaurant, and he's wearing this bright orange shirt. The walls were blue, and then my shirt was like a soft peachy pink, and I thought that's the perfect photo for this. So I printed it in color, and it matches my big title perfectly. And yeah, I was actually going to do a black and white picture, and then I stumbled across that one and thought, okay, that's perfect. I love when that happens. I promise. I didn't plan that. It just happened. So I've prepped my white cardstock here. Now this cardstock is from the cardstock kit. It's textured cardstock, so it's not very thick. So I did add the gesso, and I'm going to show you here in a minute once I start to add all of the mixed media, the difference in using gesso and not using gesso. So I'm going to start with blue here, and I'm going to use 2 of the Linde Starburst sprays. Now we got these several color kits ago, and the colors are Tiffany Lou Blue and Blue Hawaiian Blue. And I just sprayed them right on, spritzed it with water, and then I'm just moving the paper around to let the colors run and blend. I know I sound like I repeat myself all the time, but this is really not hard to do. If you can spray paint, spray water, and tilt your paper, then you can make a background like this. It is really easy to do. Okay, let me show you something. Do you see that dark spot forming on the cardstock there? That is where I missed a couple spots with the gesso. You see the difference there? It soaked right through the paper. And look at the back. It went right through. Do you see the difference? The gesso everywhere else allows the paint and the water to sit on top of the paper. It does not just soak right through. But apparently I missed a couple spots when I was scraping my gesso on, and you can see the big difference in gesso versus no gesso. And on the back, the paper was wet, like it had literally soaked through, and it was even wet on my table. So the gesso does make a difference, especially if you're going to add a lot of water, because this is not thick cardstock. This is just regular textured cardstock. And so, you know, just this amount of water was already going through it, because it's really not made for this kind of thing, but the gesso helps tremendously. I did add in a couple of very old shimmers. We got some shimmers a long time ago, but I wanted to add in a touch of that darker blue color, so I spritzed in a little bit of, I think it was called dark blue sea, or deep blue sea, deep blue sea. But you can kind of see there the background. It's almost dry. Now I'm going to use one of the recent blue Lindy's powders that we got, I think, oh man, 2 kits ago. It's called Janice Jade, and it's a really pretty, I would call it more on the navy blue side, more of a grayish blue, really, really pretty. And I'm going to start to add in splatters. And since I didn't really need a lot of this powder mixed up, I'm just adding a little bit of water to it in the lid of the actual container, and then just using my brush to splatter it around. And I've learned that, you know, if you want to soften up the colors while it's still wet, dab some of it up. If you want it to be a little bit darker and more bold, then maybe just let it air dry and not use the paper towels or a napkin to dab it up. You know, I just wanted to do some layers of splatters. So I did one layer, I rolled the paper towels to kind of soften it up, and then I'm going to leave some to dry naturally. They're going to be a little bit darker. And then I thought I wanted to add in some other colors of splatters. So I'm going to make an orange. And these are 2 older sprays from Lindy's that we got a while ago. I could not tell you what month they came in. But the yellow is Grab-A-Guy Gold, and the pink is Hibiscus Rose. And it made the perfect orange color to match all the orange that I've got going on. And again, I'm just going to roll the paper towel, and this just softens it up a little bit, but it's still very, very visible. And up close, you can definitely see the color a little bit better. This is a pink that we got a long time ago called Cotton Candy Pink. It's the perfect match for the soft pinks in the papers. And then this is the one that we get this month. It's very, very bright pink, and it's called Plumeria Pink. And again, that is from the January color kit. And so, yeah, I'm just going splatter crazy here. I love how this is looking. And here I'm going to tilt it so you can see the different colors and see the different shimmers. So, so pretty. I love the shimmer. And some of these Lindy's don't have shimmer. If you ever get a product that says flat on it, that means it's just flat color. It doesn't have shimmer. So some of them are flat, some of them are shimmery. All right, so I let it dry. I'm going to build the layout again, bring the picture back, bring all the words, and see kind of how I like it. I really wanted to use these 2 hearts from that Lucky Us puffy sticker sheet, and then this cute glittery Forever down at the bottom. So I think I'm going to do something like that. So the actual design of this layout is pretty simple. I printed my photo kind of big. I tend to usually use smaller photos, and a lot of times I get questions on, you know, why do you just use one photo on so many of your layouts? And sometimes I only have one photo of that event. Like when we were at this restaurant here, this was the only photo that we took of us. So I didn't have multiple photos to put on here. And actually my husband took the selfie. That's why we're so far back. Usually I'm taking the selfie, and my arm is not that long, so I got him to take it. But so I only have one picture for this actual event, and so that's why there's just one. But I made it pretty big for me. It's not completely 4x6, but you know, it's the focal point, and it's pretty much in the middle of the layout. And so, like I was saying earlier, since I created this big title, it's perfect for the photo to go under the word you, and then the rest of the layout just kind of works around that. I do want to add dimension, so I'm going to use some adhesive foam strips here that I cut, And I'm going to cover the back of you, so that's going to pop off the page. And then I'm going to add some foam behind the photo too. Oh, I'm about to have a big fight with my ATG gun. Yeah. Why does it keep doing this? This specific roll of tape, oh, I'm fixing to throw it down. Yeah. I don't know what the deal is. That's happened to me the last several videos that I've made. That specific roll of tape is giving me grief. I don't know what's up with it. But anyway, the show must go on. So I'm going to add some more foam. I have a couple of different color foam pieces here I'm trying to get through, and I'm going to add that to the back of the picture with some tissue paper there, because that's the only thing I'm really going to layer behind the picture. And I like the messy, subtle border effect that the tissue paper creates. And I am going to wind up overlapping the top of the photo on top of the U, and I realized that I had double the adhesive since I put it behind the picture and the U, so I had to cut some of it off after I had just stuck it on there. But I know that that's where everything's going to go, so I'm going to start to work on gluing things down. I'm going to add 2 of the chipboard circles from Pink Fresh Studio on top of the O's in the title, and then here we go gluing things down. I'm using Scotch tacky glue, and here we go. We're just going to glue. Gluing is the most boring part of the video, I think. Watching someone fussy cut and watching them glue, right? That's not very exciting. So I don't film the entire process of the gluing phase, but you get the idea. And the big U is going to sort of overlap the word love, but you can still read what it says, and I'm okay with that. So, okay, everything's glued down. I let it dry. I did go to my sewing machine and I stitched through the word love and the most, and then I just went kind of crazy down at the bottom. I don't know, I just felt the urge to do some back and forth stitching down there just for some added texture. And so I did. I just used white thread, and it's just going to add a little bit of interest down there at the bottom. It's very subtle. It's white, so you can't really see it from here. So it's not something that's going to, you know, take away from the page because it's white on white pretty much. So I'm going to add in some thread before I get going with more embellishments. I'm going to bring in a little bit of that darker blue color that I have in the L and the M and put that thread over to the left, just to add in a little bit more of that color. And then this is a little Pink Fresh Studio die cut that says love you. I'm going to use that at the top, and then add in a little bit of the pink color thread over to the right. And that's a very light pink color. It's pretty much the same color as the U, but it's very subtle. Picture gets glued down, and make sure the thread is under there so it gets glued down as well. And then here's where I use the You and Me big giant puffy heart sticker, and to make the orange heart level I added a little bit of the adhesive foam under that as well. And I decided I needed something down underneath the Forever sticker, so I'm gonna go to the Pink Fresh Studio floral die cuts and fussy cut a couple of these from the larger floral clusters, and then trim a little bit of the white edges off. And I'm just using pretty much the same colors that I've already got going on in the layout. Some of the peachy pink, some of that darker blue. I'm going to use some of these puffy heart stickers in the same pinks, and not really oranges, but it's almost like a reddish pink. It kind of matches the orange tones though. And then these cute little enamel glitter, enamel or epoxy? I think they're like enamel stickers, but they're glittery hearts. They're so cute. And then I felt like I needed a couple more of these darker blue flowers up above the picture. So I'm going to put a couple of those on top of the O, because if I have several colors going on in the layout, I like to have that color repeated maybe once or twice more around the page. And so I've got the dark blue in a couple spots, I've got the pink in a couple spots, the orange is scattered around the page, and then here I'm just going to start adding in some smaller details, some little tiny puffy heart stickers, yeah, all kinds of different heart stickers. I'm going to add in some adhesive foam underneath these 2 little flowers down at the bottom to give them some dimension. and then glue everything down. I definitely had to add some glue down to everything on top of all that stitching because it was so dimensional, nothing really wanted to stick to it. So made sure I glued all that down. And then I decided before I glued the flowers down, I wanted to add in a pop of that orange. And so that's a perfect opportunity to use some thread. So that's what I'm going to do down here at the bottom. Just kind of loop it up and make a little tangled nest out of it, and then glue the flowers down on top of it. And it actually looped for me perfectly. Sometimes I have to fight with thread, like the light pink thread, it feels like a different texture and it just wants to stay straight. I have to really work with it, but this orange thread just looped perfectly. I'm also going to add in some of these Pink Fresh Studio enamel dots for some more pops of orange here and there. And then, yeah, you can kind of see how I've got it so far. I'm not going to add too much more. I added in just a couple more tiny heart stickers. I've got enamel stickers, I've got puffy stickers, all kinds of stickers. And I'm just going to do one line of journaling on either side of the cluster. And I'm just going to use my black pen. I couldn't decide what color to use, so I just went with the black. And then I did add the date, and then I felt like I needed some more hearts. So that's all I'm going to do to finish this, is go back to this little puffy heart sticker sheet and add in some more hearts. Since this is February and I feel like this is a lovey-dovey layout, you know, you can't go wrong with hearts, but I really like how this turned out. It, you know, like I said in the beginning, it's definitely an option for a design idea if you like the look of die cuts, but you don't have a die cutting machine and you can't create cut files. Don't be afraid to draw something yourself and cut it out, especially big titles, because this really was not that hard to do. If you don't feel confident enough in your handwriting to make block letters like the, not the big U part, but the other part, then just use a ruler. You can do it, I promise. Anyway, there's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I was so excited to find a picture that matched this color scheme. Usually I have to match the color scheme around the picture, but it just worked out. And I'm so glad that I didn't, you know, print it in black and white, because the colors match great. So anyway, I hope you enjoy all these close-ups. I took a ton. You can see all the colors, all the details, all the dimension, all of it. And I hope it inspires you in some way. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the products or the techniques or anything that I might have forgotten to talk about. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun. So I will see y'all next week in my next video. I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much for watching.